Bidmark, we get potential clients calling us up asking us the same questions time and time again. How can I get more conversions? How can I stop wasting spend? How can I maximise my budget? And to answer those questions, we'll have a look at their AdWords account. We'll go through the whole thing with a fine-tooth comb, looking at potential mistakes that they're making or opportunities that they're not taking, and look at generating a list of recommendations on how they can generate more conversions, generate more revenue, stop wasting the spend. And it's surprising how many times we see the same mistakes being made over and over again. Another client will get in touch and it'll be the same common mistakes being made. And it's not surprising for new advertisers because AdWords is bringing out so many new features all the time. It's getting increasingly harder for new advertisers to set up campaigns effectively. Even experienced campaign managers always have to be on the lookout for new features in AdWords and new ways to improve their advertising campaigns that are running. So in this video, we're going to talk you through the same common mistakes that we see time and time again. We're going to give you tips and ways that you can stop wasting spend on AdWords and maximise your budget and generate more conversions. So let's get to it right now. Okay, here we are, how to save money on AdWords. So before I talk you through each step individually, I'm going to have a quick overview on what the 10 changes are. If they don't make sense right now, don't worry, I'll explain in more detail as we get to each step and each recommendation. So number 1 is to separate the search and display network at campaign levels. Number 2 is to check spend by device and use device bid modifiers. Step 3, set up your ads to show at the best times of day. And number 4, choose the best landing pages. Number 5, split out keywords into type product groups. Number 6, focus on quality score. Number 7, use exact match and phrase match keywords. Number 8, use negative keywords. Number 9, set up remarketing campaigns. And number 10, perhaps the most important one of them all, is to set up conversion tracking. So the first tip that we're going to recommend you look at is to separate the search and display networks at campaign levels. So when you set up an AdWords account, it automatically defaults to show your ads on all 3 separate networks, which are the search network, which will be text ads on Google search results. There's also the search partners network. Sites in the search network that partner with Google to show ads extend the reach of Google search ads to hundreds of non-Google websites such as YouTube and other websites. So sometimes what you see is a search bar on a website that says powered by Google. So people that are using those search bars will often see text ad results. So that's something to be aware of. And another one is display network, which is showing text ads on websites on the Google display network. So we're all familiar with banner ads. Occasionally on some websites you actually see what looks like a banner ad, but it actually looks identical to the same text ad that you would see on a Google search results page. So your ads that you think are shown on Google can actually show on the display network as well, basically be shown on other websites. One of the most powerful features of AdWords is getting your ads to appear precisely as somebody searches for the product or service that you offer. So the problem with having text ads on the display network and showing them on websites is you'll be paying to show your ads to people who aren't searching for your product or service. They're not using the keywords you have in your campaign. So for that reason, sometimes these networks don't perform as well as a search network. Right, okay, here we are in the account that we manage. So we're going to look at, firstly, how you can check the performance of your campaigns on the different networks to check whether you're showing on the networks or not, but also what the spend is, what the clicks are they working for you, are they not working for you. So sometimes the search network and the display network can actually work well, but in my experience, more times than not, it doesn't work well. So to check how much you're spending on the different networks, if you go to campaign level or ad group level in your AdWords account, I'm at ad group level here, and then scroll over to the right hand side and segment your data by network, here. So it says network that the ad was shown on, such as Google Search, Search Partners, and the Google Display Network. If you select that and then scroll further down to the bottom, you can select this arrow here and it will show you the spend on the different networks. So in the example of this campaign, you'll see that most of the spend has been on Google Search. So out of £607, there's been 583 on Google Search. So the majority of the budget has been on Google Search, which is probably a good thing. However, there is a small amount, £23, that has been spent on the Search Partners page. So that spend has effectively been wasted. So we want to look, how can we turn this off? So to turn that off, you need to go to the settings of the campaign. So in the middle toolbar here, if you go settings, and then here is the networks that the campaign can show on. If you drop that down, this is where you can include or exclude the display network, or include and exclude the search partners. So I'm going to untick that, and it's not going to include Google Search Partners anymore, and then press save. So that's it for the first tip. Check the network that your campaigns are showing on. If you see a lot of wasted spend on the Google Search Partners or the Google Display Network, this is how you can turn it off. Now that spend will be redistributed in to the Google Search Result text ads, which will give you a better overall result and a better ROI in your marketing spend. So for tip number 2, what we often see is performance differs across the different devices. So you have tablets, you have mobiles, you have computers, and quite a lot of the time we see that mobile spends a lot of the budget, but doesn't convert as well as desktop or tablets. And that's because you get a lot of people researching on mobile, but they're not actively buying. So what we're going to look at now is how to, just like with the display networks, how we can have a look at the performance across the different devices. So in this middle section here, if you scroll down to devices, you can see the performance here for computers, mobiles and tablets. We've got click data, impressions, cost data, conversions, etc, etc. So what we can see here is that tablets have spent £75 and not generated any conversions. So that's almost 10% of the budget there, which is not effectively working on tablets. Mobile has a cost per conversion of £31 and computer has a cost per conversion of £68. So mobile seems to be the best, then it's computers, but tablets are not really working at all. So there's a couple of things that we can do here to optimize your spend. So firstly, I'm going to turn off tablet advertising. I don't want to spend on advertising. The campaign has spent £600 and generated between 10 and 11 conversions, roughly speaking. The cost per conversion has been £57. So I've spent £75 on tablets and not converted. If I had spent that on mobiles and computers, I'd have had one more conversion, which would have helped the overall cost per conversion come down further. So to turn off tablet, if you go across to bid adjustments here, select. So a bid adjustment, you can increase or decrease your bids by device based on how valuable the traffic is from that device. So for tablets, it's not been very valuable, £75 spent, no conversions. We can actually decrease the bid by 100%. And that's how you can stop advertising on tablets. So if you have a bid of £1 and you decrease it by 100%, it's effectively zero. So you've got no bid there on tablets, so you're not going to show on tablets. Now, looking at mobiles and computers, we can see that mobile is the best and desktop is the worst. Now I could increase my bids on mobile, but the overall cost per conversion is still pretty high, to be honest, £31. I don't want to be spending more for the traffic and increasing the cost per conversion even further, but I would like to decrease my cost per conversion on computers. So I could set what's called a negative bid adjustment. So for example, it's already set to £10, but I'm going to decrease it by 50%. There we go. So, the cost per click was 60p. It's now going to be 30p, which is going to mean if my clicks are cheaper, okay, you might get less clicks, but the cost per conversion is going to be cheaper. It's going to help bring the cost per conversion down on the campaign. So, if I half the bid, perhaps I can half the cost per conversion. So I'll set that, but I won't forget that, and I will come back and check, and I'll keep an eye on this tab. Once a week I'll come back and look at these campaigns and then assess any changes to how Computer's doing. What I'd expect is over the next 2 or 3 weeks to come back and see a lower cost per conversion as more conversions come through. And if I'm happy with that, I'll leave it as it is. But if I'm not happy with it, I might decrease the bid even further. So don't forget, this is just one campaign also. You can do this on various campaigns in your account. Okay, tip number 3 is to set your ads to show at the best times of day and days of week so you're not wasting money in poor performing times of day. So to check when your ads are showing, you'll use the Add Schedule tab here on the left. And you select that. What this shows is the times and days of weeks that the ads are showing. So on this campaign, they're showing Monday to Friday, all day, every day. So performance changes across the days of the week. Sometimes weekends are better, sometimes they're worse. Sometimes weekdays are the best, sometimes they're the worst. Mornings might be good for some accounts, evenings might be better for other accounts. So you want to set up your campaigns to make sure that you're maximising your budget in the best times of days and the best days of week, whatever they may be for your account. So the way that you can check this is to use the day and hour reports, the day reports and the hour reports which will appear. So before we make any changes to the ad schedule, we're going to base our decisions off what the data tells us. So my first part of call will be to look at the performance across the different days of weeks. If you select here, you can see by day, click volumes, cost, conversions, conversion rate for this campaign. If we look at the hour tab up here, we can see, if I just order this like so, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, with all our clicks and our cost data. We can start to kind of glean some sort of knowledge from this data and use that to set up an ad schedule for our campaigns. So quickly, what you're looking for is the best and worst times. You might want to turn off at a bad time of week. You might want to make sure that you're spending in the best time. So from looking at this account here, we can see that there's a fairly even number of clicks across the week. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday does seem to be a busy time of week. A little bit less on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But actually, on this account, if we look, Sunday seems to be a good day with the 3% conversion rate, the best day there. Monday, Wednesday. So if we order it by conversion rate here, we can have a look at the best times of days. So we've got Friday, Monday and Sunday. So Saturday doesn't seem to be a great day. Neither does Thursday and Tuesday. So what this tells me is you've got Mondays, the first day of the week. Sundays, kind of towards the end of the weekend. And Fridays. In the middle of the week and a Saturday is not a great time. So we'll remember that for a second. If we look at the hour report here and then order it by conversion rate, so we see the best times of day, you can see that 10 till 11, 8 till 9, 12 till 1, 7 till 8, so there's quite a lot there early morning. Then after that we've got 10 till 11 at night and 6 till 7. So what that says to me is early mornings and evening times are the best. During the day, doesn't seem to be, 1 till 2 p.m. here, 2 till 3, 3 till 4, doesn't seem to be the best times of day, 4 till 5. So if we go back to the ad schedule now, we can set up our bids accordingly, like so. So what I normally do is I have Okay, so what I normally do is I kind of separate weekdays and weekends. So starting with weekends, I'll say, okay, Saturday, and then it was early morning. So we go from 6 till, and then it was about 2 o'clock as the first section that we want to kind of break out. There. And then Saturdays, we go from 2 until 6. Okay, finally another one for Saturday. 6 until around 11 PM at night. There we go. Sundays is the same. Let's get these set up for Sunday. So you can actually probably copy and paste these, might be the best. There we go. And then we'll do Mondays to Fridays. The same again. There we go. And then save that. So it'll be different for your account, but for my account, this is what it looks like at the minute. So what we're going to say now is every morning between 6 and 2 PM, so we select these. Sorry, let me just get this right. Tuesdays, 6 AM, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. So the morning was quite good. I'm going to increase my bids by 10%. Apply. During the day, when things aren't so good, I'm going to change my bids by 20%. There we go. And then in the evenings, 6 to 11, increased by 10%. So you can set these figures to whatever you like, but for now I just recommend a sort of small little change. Watch the data that starts to accumulate here. So moving forwards, now you have this, it will tell you how many clicks have been between 6 and 2, how many between 2 and 6, and how many between 6 and 11. And then when you start to see more conversion data come through, if you've got a really good time, you can increase these bids just even further to 20%. Or if things continue to stay, pretty bad, pretty quiet during a certain time, you could decrease even further. Oops, sorry, I meant to be 50. Or you could even remove a certain time from your targeting. There you go, so you can see now it's no longer showing at that time. And that's how you use mobile bid adjustments to make sure you're not wasting any spend during certain times of day, and how to make sure you're maximising the opportunity at your best times of day. Okay, tip number 4 is avoid sending all the traffic to one page. A lot of the time we see at accounts that traffic is being sent to the home page. This is a very general page, and to get the best results from your AdWords account, we recommend using specific search queries and landing them on a specific page. So if somebody asks for, in this example, a pay-per-click agency, the best page to land them on is a pay-per-click page, not the home page. So in this example, we're going to show you how to find out where your traffic is being sent to, what your landing page is, and also a couple of tips on how to choose the best landing page. So how to find and change your landing page. So if you go to AdWords and select a campaign and an ad group and navigate towards the Keywords tab, you will see here the final URL, and this is the landing page that traffic goes to after searching that keyword. Clicking your ad, they will land on that page there. If this isn't here, you might need to turn it on in the columns section by going to columns, attributes, and final URL is just there. Apply. Okay, so now I can see that if someone's searching for pay-per-click agency, pay-per-click management agency, they'll go to our home page. So I've searched pay-per-click agency, and this is the page that I land on. So digital marketing agency leads, it's okay. Clearly they are doing digital marketing services. That's what I'm looking for, but really I'm looking for a pay-per-click service. So whilst that page is okay, there is actually better pages on the website to land people to. So up here we've got our top level services: SEO, PPC, display, web development, social media. But if you actually look here, there's a PPC page. There we go. This is actually going to be a much better page to land traffic on if they're looking for PPC services. You see, it's much more specific to what I'm looking for. So we're going to take this URL here, we're going to go back to AdWords, and we're going to select all the keywords that we want to change the landing page for, just like so. And then go to Edit up here and change the final URL. And set it to a more specific page. So the tip here is, don't send all your traffic to the home page. Make sure you're landing traffic on a specific landing page. If you don't have a specific landing page, the home page could do, but what I'd really suggest is developing your website and building out new pages, new landing pages for AdWords traffic. In the long run, it's going to give you a much better return on your AdWords spend. Okay, tip number 5 is to split out keywords into type product groups. This can really help you tailor your ads to that keyword. If you have all your keywords in one ad group, you're only going to be able to use one set of ads. So if all the keywords are slightly different and the ad says one thing, it's going to really limit your opportunity to make sure that ad is really specific to the search. So here's an example of an account that we've done an audit on before. And as you'll see, you've got people searching for 14-yard skip prices, and 10-yard skip prices, and 12-yard skip price. And all of those keywords were in the same ad group. So if I search for 14, 12 or 10-yard skips, I would see the same ad. So whilst this was okay, there's an opportunity to improve your AdWords results and minimise wasted spend by splitting those keywords out into more specific ad groups. So for example, if we look here on the left, we've got different ad groups now for 12 yards, 14 yards, 16 yards, 2, 4, 6, 8 yards, whatever they're looking for. They're in different ad groups. And what that means is we can set up the ads to be really specific to what they're searching for. Okay, and that leads us on to tip number 6, is to make sure that your campaign quality score is optimised as best as you can. So for me, this is, after conversion tracking, perhaps one of the most important factors of an AdWords account in determining how much money you're going to spend. Keywords and campaigns that have got a low quality score are going to have a much higher cost per click. we're going to make sure that we need all the columns that we need to assess quality score. So if we go to this panel on the right hand side and select columns and modify columns, you'll see here there's a sub menu for quality score. If you drop that down, expected click-through rate is one component of your keyword's overall quality score. Landing page experience estimates how relevant and useful the landing page is to people who clicked your ad. It takes into account factors such as how well your landing page content matches a person's search term and how easy it is for the people to navigate your page. And finally, ad relevance. Ad relevance measures how closely a keyword matches the message in your ad. As I mentioned before, if you make sure the keyword is in the ad copy, you're going to get a high ad relevance. So they're the four that we need: overall quality score, the expected click-through rate, the landing page experience, and the ad relevance. These other options here for columns is historical, so it will look at what your historical quality score was compared to what it is now. We only really want to see what they are now, so we don't need to look at the historical stats today. So if we put these four columns on and make sure that they're ticked, then come over here to the right hand side, you'll see that there's we can add and remove. This is where we can remove columns here. So generally what I do is I'm not really looking at these other stats just yet. I just wanted to keep it purely focused on quality score. So I'm going to remove all of these like so. So we've just got the ones that we need. And press apply. Right, so here we have a set of keywords in this ad group for skip higher. You can see that the quality score is here: 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 there, a few here. So we just order those. So let's start from the bottom and have a look at this keyword here, skip quote, which has got a 5 out of 10 quality score. So basically, quality score work, you want to start at the bottom and work on the lowest quality keywords in your account, raise the bottom line from there. So it's got a 5 out of 10. So the question is, why is that? Well, this is what tells us why it's got a low quality score. So the expected click-through rate is below average. The ad relevance is above average, but the landing page experience is average. So in terms of ad relevance, I don't need to look at the ad copy. But what I do need to look at is the click-through rate and the landing page experience. So let's start with click-through rate. So click-through rate is, there's two things that we can look at here. Is we'll go have a look at the ad copy, and we'll pause the ads with the lowest click-through rate to try and increase the click-through rate for that ad group and that keyword. Another thing is we'll have a look at the search terms to make sure to have a look at what we're appearing for on that keyword and see if we can block out any search terms with a low click-through rate. So whilst we're here, we'll have a look at search terms. So to review search terms, if you scroll up, you can see here at the top above the graph is search terms. If you select that, we can see all the search terms that our ads have appeared for. Now we want to filter it for that one keyword, which was skip quote, or keyword, sorry, keyword text is skip quote equals skip quote. There we go. So this is it here, all the terms that keyword has appeared for, skip quote. So now if we look at the click-through rate, scroll down to the bottom. You can see here that it's appearing for this keyword mini skip, and that's got the lowest click-through rate. So the reason why people are searching mini skip is because the ad probably doesn't say mini skip in. So what I'd recommend there is maybe creating a new ad group for mini skips, which I think we already have. So here we have here mini skips here. So I'm going to add this as a negative keyword to this ad group, to the skip higher ad group. Because if somebody searches mini skip, I want the ad from the mini skip ad group to appear, not the ad from this ad group. Okay, so Looking at this search term report, there's actually not too much there. There's 40 impressions. The click-through rate is actually pretty high there at 34%. We've negative matched mini skips because we want that to go through the mini skip ad group. But there's not really too much there that we can block out. That's got a low click-through rate. So probably the next best step is to look at the ads in the ad group. Another thing you could do is you could write a new ad that's better than the ads that are already live in there and try and get a better click-through rate that way. So between ad copy reviews, whether that's pausing ads or adding new ads, through to search term reviews, looking at low click-through rate search terms, there's a couple of techniques that you can use on an ongoing basis to improve the expected click-through rate of a keyword. The landing page experience is another one that you can look at. So as we just mentioned, choose the best landing page. Is there a better landing page you can use? If so, change the URL. Could the landing page be improved? Is it the right landing page? Is it the most specific landing page, but could it be improved? Have a look at a bit of web development work on your landing pages to try and improve your landing page experience. So a key way to measure the landing page experience is what is the bounce rate of that page? Do 100% of people bounce straight off your page? Or what is the session duration of that page? If you can improve those two metrics, i.e. reduce the bounce rate of a page or improve the session duration, that's going to lead to a better landing page experience in Google's eyes. And then finally, ad relevance. As we mentioned, try and make sure that the keywords are in the ads. So for this one, we want to make sure that the keyword skip and quote is in the ad copy. For this one, it's order and skip. So order your skip today, get a free quote. That's going to really help the ad relevance on that ad group. Right, so the next step is to use exact and phrase match keywords. So I'm not going to go into detail exactly about match types in this video. I'll post a link in the description to a previous video I posted where I go through and explaining match types. But essentially, what we're recommending is to go for exact match and phrase match keywords. They give you the greatest control in terms of the keyword in your account versus what you're actually appearing for. The broad match keywords typically can help you appear on some good searches, but a lot of the time they pull in some really low quality searches. So I want to show you a classic example here of broad match keywords wasting a lot of advertising spend. So this client here sells wireless routers and switches and other sort of IT hardware. So in their account they had this keyword which is used switch. So what they're actually appearing for was used Nintendo Switch. Used Nintendo Switch here. As you can see over here, £27, £25, £20. So there's there's £60 there straight away, just absolutely wasted because they don't sell Nintendo Switches. They don't sell games consoles. They sell IT hardware. So yeah, for that reason, that's why we say make sure you're using exact and phrase match keywords. And if you do have broad keywords in your account, look at the search terms, add negative keywords if you see any sort of low quality keywords coming through. Which leads me on to my next point actually of using negative keywords in your account. So negative keyword are something that tend to get missed in a lot of AdWords accounts that we look at. A negative keyword is used to stop your ads from showing for anything that isn't relevant to the keywords that you're trying to bid on. So let's have a look at where you can see the search terms and how you can add negative keywords to your campaigns. So this is an e-commerce website that sells lights. So they don't do nests of tables. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the keyword there, and then if we scroll up we can add it as a negative keyword to the campaign. So we can add that exact keyword there, dar nest of tables, and anytime anybody searches that keyword the ad won't show for that keyword again. But what I'm going to actually do is add it in as a phrase match, nest of tables. So anytime that anybody searches for any types of nest of tables, the ads aren't going to show. So I want to do it for campaign and save. And that is our tip there, is to watch out for your negative keywords. So as with the Nintendo Switch example and with the nest of table example in this account, there is potential for a lot of spend to be wasted, and you can save money on AdWords by making sure that your negative keywords are set up accordingly. Okay, next up is remarketing. Remarketing is something that we've had a lot of success with here at Bidmark, and what we find is a lot of the time that the conversions and the sales generated from remarketing are much cheaper than the non-remarketing audience. So basically, remarketing is where Google Analytics builds up a list of people that have visited your website. It will then store this list so that you can start remarketing to them at a later date. Essentially, you're building up a database of all the people that have visited your website, and you can show your ads to them. You can follow those people around the internet with different websites that they're going to with banner advertisements, pushing your brand in their eyes. We've actually seen that the cost per click and the cost per conversion on remarketing campaigns in comparison with your normal search campaigns is much, much cheaper. So if you're not using remarketing, I can highly recommend that you're actually going to go away and set up the remarketing campaigns. Right, so the conversions is a place where we can see how Google Ads help you achieve your goals. Conversion tracking helps you see which keywords, ads, ad groups and campaigns drive the customer actions that you care about, such as purchases, subscriptions, app installs, phone calls and more. So what we need to do is add a conversion here. Right, so we can select the kind of conversions you want to track. Website, such as tracking sales or other actions on your website, app installs and in-app actions. You can track phone calls, so phone calls from your ads on your website, or you can import conversions from another system, including Google Analytics. What I will do is I will do a separate video on how to set up conversion tracking, but for the purpose of this video I'm going to set up one of the most common types of conversions, which is a form completion. So if you're an e-commerce website and somebody buys off your website, you need to look at sales tracking and revenue tracking. However, if you're a lead generation website, we can set up right. For now, I'm going to look at one of the most common types of conversions that you can track, and that is people going to a thank you page. So if you are a lead generation website, quite often you want people to fill in a form on your website, and when they submit, I definitely recommend that you set up a thank you page, and you can set tracking up to track people that go to that thank you page. If you are generating sales, you can also have that once people have made a purchase off you, that they also land on a thank you page. So for those two things, you can track the number of leads and the number of sales that have been through your website. So for example, if we come onto here and we fill this in, test@gmail.com, testing, test, and then press send. Once I press send, I'm going to go to a thank you page. Thank you for getting in touch. So up here, we've got this contact/thank you. So that's my thank you page. I want to track all people that have clicked on an AdWords ad and then filled in the form and reached this thank you page. And that will help me report on how many leads have been generated from my AdWords campaign. When we get to this thank you page, so once we have the thank you URL, we need to use Google Analytics to create what is called a goal. So the goal is for us to get people to fill in our form. So once you've created the goal in Analytics, you will import that goal into your AdWords account. So here's an example Analytics account. And all the kind of the data is stored up here, but what we need to do is go down to the settings down here, the admin, and you get these three columns here. And you see here that there's the goals column here. And here's a couple of goals that we've already got set up. If we go to new goal, we get to the goal setup page. So what we're going to use in this example is a custom girl, or we can actually do, yeah, custom girl. We go custom girl, continue. Give the girl a name, so from completion. And then this is the type here, so for us it's a destination. If somebody reaches a certain destination on our website, which is the thank you page, we want to track that as a goal. Equal to. There we go. And there's no value associated with this, so we leave that off. And there's no funnel, so we leave that off, and then we press save. And that is here. There we go, form completion. So it's been set up as a goal. Now we need to go back to the AdWords account, and then we're going to import that goal from Google Analytics. So we press import from Google Analytics, press continue. Okay, so we need to link the accounts first. So if we just, can we open a new tab now? So we're going to go to linked accounts. Right, so on the next screen, you'll see that the status for AdWords and Analytics is not linked. So if we press link, and then you want to turn these on. Okay, so import the site metrics. So we want to use this top view for all website data. Save. So that is the main view for our Google Analytics. There we go. So we can unlink it here if we'd like to. So now let's just go back to the conversion tracking. So that's tools, conversions, add conversion, import from Google Analytics, and then we've got all the goals here. So it was form completion there, import and continue. You've imported one goal from Google Analytics, done. There we go. Okay, so if we now go back to our campaigns, you see that there's clicks, impressions, the click-through rate, the cost of the click, cost, and then we've got conversions and cost per conversion here. If we go to keywords, we've got conversions, cost per conversion, conversion rate there. So now if somebody searches Google AdWords agency and then fills in the form, it will appear there as a conversion. Really important step, and I recommend not going live on any AdWords campaigns until the conversion tracking is set up.
In no particular order, the first act in the bottom three is Olivia.
Yeah, I was working and watching the game and on the phone to Dan. He must have realised it was his birthday at half time when we got the call. Not sure what started it. It was going pretty good when we got there. And me and my guy just went down one side of it and cut it off from some trees and it burned back the other way.
The third act in the bottom three is Ricky. The act with the fewest votes, leading right now, is Ricky. Nicole, I kind of need you to go and sit down now. You've got some judging to do. You have to go and sit down now. I've got some judging to do, all right? Thank you, Ricky. All right, so 2 acts still in limbo, but not for long. One of them will be returning to sing again next week. The